Well, now apparently change takes more than a single term, but that is not what he said back in 2009, Mr. President. You may remember your own words.
A year from now, I think people are going to see that we're starting to make some progress, but there's still going to be some pain out there. If I don't have this done in 3 years, then there's going to be a one-term proposition.
Oops. Joining me now with reaction, the author of the New York Times #1 bestseller, Culture of Corruption. Michelle Malkin is back with us. Mandela? Gandhi?
Yeah, the audacity of Obama. Is there a world leader, successful world leader, that he hasn't compared himself to over the last 3 years? What was it, last year? The trend was comparing himself to Ronald Reagan, the gall, the audacity. And I think that that first tape was very useful to see him moaning and groaning about how hard change is. And here he is telling us that he said he'd never be a perfect president. Well, that I agree with him on that. However, I recall during the entire campaign, Obama and his surrogates promising the moon, unicorns and rainbows, world peace, racial harmony. And do you remember one of his big promoters? Right. And all of his sort of rank. Of course, and all of the rank and file supporters of Barack Obama believing that they were going to get their gas paid for and their mortgages and have their college educations. And look, yes, change is hard, but you know what's going to be harder? Turning back all of this radical, progressive, transformative wrecking ball that we've been all suffering under the last 3 years.
Let me ask you in terms of the narrative. You knew Andrew Breitbart well. You see what the left is writing about him and saying about him. You see that there's a certain mean-spiritedness from the Democrats. It's beyond class warfare. Republicans want dirty air and water, all the things that I highlight. And you see, for example, that they only get outraged over things that benefit them politically. You know, not things that Bill Maher, big donor to the president, $1 million to a super PAC, has said, as I pointed out earlier, some of the most offensive things. How far will they go, and how far does the media go along with them, and how successful will they be at it?
Well, it's no coincidence that by any means necessary is the way that the far left has always fought. I've been in this business for more than 20 years, and Andrew Breitbart was one of a kind. And although he is gone, and I said this after we got the terrible news, his legacy is built to last. Online, he has inspired an entire generation of young activists and citizen journalists out there. And I think one of his most powerful legacies, of course, has been fearlessly fighting back against all of these poisonous leftist memes. Primarily among them, of course, the thrust of the left to try and delegitimize and criminalize conservative dissent and conservative ideology by painting us as racist, as sexist, as the most hate-filled on the planet, when all we need to do, and I've been doing this for as long as I've been in public life, is hold up a mirror to the very intolerant, violent
Let me ask you this. We hit this in the opening block of the show tonight. Is the president now, he's out there, you know, lecturing everybody on language. The left is attacking viciously Andrew Breitbart. But yet the president's PAC took $1 million from Bill Maher. And I played this earlier. Let me play it again, and I want to get your thoughts. Should the president ask his PAC to return this money? Roll the tape.
New rule, now that Hosni Mubarak has released Lara Logan, he must put her intrepid hotness on a plane back to the United States immediately. In exchange, we will send Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
Recently, the tea people, who really kind of wagged the dog there in the Republican Party, they finally see somebody they like. I mean, Newt Gingrich, I'm sorry, but he does mirror who they are. Mean, snarling, borderline racist. John Huntsman can suck my Anyway, Sarah Palin was watching, and she said, if only he was black,
Andrew Dice Clay. For decades, he's been called a misogynist, racist, and homophobic, or what Republican primary voters call a good start.
Yeah, no phone call. What about returning the money? Fair question?
Is there Is there a bigger dirtbag on the planet than Bill Maher?
No.
I don't think so. And this is where we have to push back twice as hard, fight back twice as hard against these demagogues. I would play that clip every day and pound the White House and Team Obama, Obama for America, as they try and demonize every conservative for our rhetoric and our speech and our behavior. Just look at that. He's taking $1 million from that guy, not to mention the double hypocrisy, of course, of Obama demanding that private nonprofits that oppose his agenda disclose their donors when he's taking all of this shady money, not just from Bill Maher, but from all of these left-wing nonprofits, many of them funded by George Soros, and we don't know who else these donors are, and they're dictating what's going on in the White House. Shame on them.
Good to see you. Michelle Malkin, have a great weekend. Appreciate you being with us.
You bet. Take care,
when we
Sean.
come back